Hi friends, thank you for joining me today. I have a quick project share and I absolutely love this project. I probably say that every time I make something. This is using junk mail envelopes. So our usual business envelopes that we get in the mail, anything for like billing and that sort of thing. I do have quite a few videos on my channel showing you different ways that I like to use junk mail envelopes because I really do love to repurpose them and use them up in our junk journals and for, snail mail, that sort of thing. So these ones were so fun to put together. You can use any envelope you have, and of course you can make your own envelopes if you wanted to, but this is the purpose is to reuse things that you already have. So I will be using digitals from Making and Creating, which is your digital collage club. And I have a discount code for them as well if you're interested. Now, of course, you can use anything you have, but because I was so inspired by their latest kits, and I think I showed it to you recently, but as soon as I saw the bunnies, I just stopped everything and I started working with the bunnies. So I do have the other tutorials, that I promised you I would show you from my previous videos. I'm editing, I'm working on those. I just get so distracted when I see something that inspires me, and the bunnies inspired me. So this is their Beatrix Potter kit. It's got journal pages. It's got many, many journal pages, and of course some of the ephemera. They also do have a lot of different types of bunny ephemera in their shops. And then I'm also working with their lovely florals, and this is from their coasters. Loving these images. I've shown them to you, I think, very recently. And anyways, we're going to make some of these today because it's just so easy. I'm going to call this One Envelope Wonder, I guess, to go with my one-page wonders, because I love this project. Now, I did see this on Pinterest. No, on Instagram. And it was one of those things that, it comes on your feed. And then if you accidentally move from it, you lose it. And I don't even know the name, but I am going to look for it. And I will link it in the description box below because I was so inspired when I saw this. Just a different way to work with the envelopes. So as I was saying, it's using, junk mail envelope that you would receive. I've gathered a few of the pieces that I might be using. So for example, for this one here, I've used just your regular envelope. You can see the back. It still has, they still have the business information on them. So I have a few. I like to, of course, use the ones that don't have a lot of things in them. You can also use the ones that have the flaps. And of course, you can use just your regular letter-sized envelopes. But I'll show you different ways that I'm using these as well. So let me get started with, oh my gosh, you're going to love this, I think. I'll start with my favorite one. Okay, so this one, I used a coffee stain window envelope. So it's one of these envelopes, but I coffee stained it before and I stenciled it. Oh yes, and before I forget, I'm also using some supplies from Your Creative Studio. And in the most recent unboxing that I did for them, they included some stencils in their subscription box this time. I was so excited about it. So of course I'm using some of their stuff as well, and that's how I used the stencil here. So I coffee stained the envelope. I used the stencil on the envelope, and it's again this envelope but coffee stained and stenciled. And then I added a floral. I did add these vellum butterflies, and the vellum is also from Your Creative Studio. It came in like a little pack of papers. So what I did is I if I can quickly find it, I'll show it to you. But I'm sure you have any kind of vellum. This is one of the vellum sheets that came in there. So I punched out my little butterflies. I think this is a Martha Stewart. Yeah, this is Martha Stewart punch. So I punched out like the 3 little butterflies, and you can possibly barely see them. I'm going to use this, of course. I added a flower there. So here's the opening. Okay, so we open it up this way. I did use, again, Your Creative Studio. This is from, I need to remember the name because it will bother me. Sorry, you guys. It is called the the rub-on transfers. So those came in that as well. I thought it was just also springy. And then you see the little bunny. So anyways, this is what this is. You have a nice large pocket on the inside and then an accordion kind of style pocket on the front. Now, I've made accordion pockets with you before. I have like different kinds of clutches that we can make. We can make them with paper bags, so many different things. But this one I thought was so fun because it is just using that one envelope and then you have 2 pockets. And that's just from the folding and the cutting of the envelope. Of course, if you add more to it, you know, you can add more tuck spots and everything as you go. The window is also showing a little bit on the back. So I thought that was so adorable because I did end up using a window envelope. Like I said, the one I coffee stained. So you can see just how much room we have here to add things. This, of course, is the bunny from, like I said, Making and Creating and Digital Collage Club. So I've got my pocket on the front. Of course, I can load it up with more goodies. And then I've got my back pocket. This is also their digital collection. And what I did for the back, just to show you, is I made them face this way so that you could see the image on the back. And then I added that little flower and a bling. This would be so adorable to send in snail mail. But also you could add this to a journal page, right? And then you've got like some really nice areas to add things to it. So then the next one I used was just a business envelope, as you can see here. And I think that's one of the ones that come that you can seal yourself. Yeah, so this one here, something like this. Of course, this one had the privacy pattern on the inside. And so again, I did Your Creative Studio. I added some of the little bits and pieces there. I did use the stencil again. I added a little bit of lace there. And you can see it's just such a cute little envelope. And then, of course, you've got your nice large pocket there. And then your front pocket. And I've just been collaging some little tags. So that's just to show you how cute that is, right? And then the next one I did, of course, this one I think was my first one. And this one was using just your regular junky style of envelope. And of course, you see the pattern there. Your large pocket there, and then your extendable accordion pocket, and again the window. And this again is from your Digital Collage Club, which is Making and Creating. So you guys, oh my gosh, I love, love, love it because I will be making so many more. I'm going to be reusing all my envelopes. Well, a substantial amount. And I think this is just so beautiful to add, like I said, to send to someone or just to add to your journals, you know, that sort of thing. They're easy to make, and they're so fun to take with you. So let me show you. Should we make maybe this one first, or should we do that one first? I'm trying to make something that you guys would have. Oh, and by the way, the window envelopes, which are these ones, if you just distress them a little bit, I did just a little bit of coffee, like, you know, sprays. And then I, again, used a beautiful stencil. I think it has such a nice finish. It's not as crinkly as, you know, when you coffee stain the whole thing. But I love the way this turned out. I'm going to probably have some coffee stain ones in my shop because I've been coffee staining envelopes, just so many that I have. And so if you wanted some with, you know, that include the windows that are coffee stained, I might just put them there, or just send me an email and let me know if you're interested in some. We'll see, because I'm not sure if I'm going to go through all the whole listing and everything. But I did want to show you that in case you don't have those these window blank ones. I know a lot of people don't get them depending on the countries they're in. Then I could certainly, you know, kind of have some ready. Anyways, so I think maybe we will work on, let me think. So because you may not have the blank one, I think I'm going to just show you how to make this with the business envelope. And I think that might be easier for you to be able to replicate it. Okay, so we'll start with this business one that has no window, so that it kind of, you know, it'll still make sense, I promise. All right, so the first thing we do is we're going to just seal it because I don't want it to be open. So I'm just going to close it up. And then I think it would make more sense if I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it will be easier if I fold it this way so that I'm covering up most of the words right now. And this, it doesn't really matter because it'll be on the inside once we fold it up. Okay, so let's get started. So I've closed it up. I'm going to take one part of it and just fold it up where my first pocket is going to be, right? So how did I do this? I think I gave it a little, yeah, I think that's good right there. So this again is just eyeballing your pockets and how you want your pockets to be, you know, how deep, etc. So I've just taken the bottom and folded it up. And then I'm going to take my top and fold it over, leaving like a little, I'll show you in a minute, leaving like a little space between the two envelopes there. Okay, so we're just basically trying to keep it straight. That's probably the most difficult part of this, is trying to keep this straight. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off some edges. And I like to kind of do this just as if I'm, maybe that was a little much there, no big deal. Okay, so I've just cut off the edges there, and then I'm going to cut just a sliver on the top. All right, so now we're left with that. Okay, then we take the bottom flap that we folded up, and now I'm just going to again cut that sliver from the bottom because that's going to make my pocket. Okay, so now let's just gather these out of the way. So we've made our cuts, right? So we fold it up, fold that down. Okay, just when you fold this back up again, you kind of miter the edges, you cut the top, and then you're left with that opening. So what I like to do is fold this down. I like to glue this inner flap down, and that ends up covering, not only covering the image there, but it also reinforces my pocket here, right? Because now I've kind of doubled that up. So now I have a nice sturdier pocket. And then we take the bottom one, and just like I've shown you in my previous videos, we just add a strip of glue, maybe like a 1/4 inch size. And then we glue it just at the center and then fold it back up. Okay, so now if you were decorating or you wanted some sort of design on the inside, then you would wait to glue everything together. But because I'm just showing you here how this is going to look, you know, not decorated. So now that we've glued that center, when you do this, you've got your center and you've got your bigger pocket. So see how easy that was? And then you're left with this cutie. And then of course, depending on your window, it would be the same. So I'm going to show you just the window one for now, or should we decorate? What do you guys think? Let me look at the time. Okay, so I think I'll do the stenciling so I can, you know, show you just how I did that one first. And the Your Creative Studio box came with 2 stencils, but I've been using that one more than anything. So anyways, I hope you're all doing well. I've had some trouble with my shoulder, and I don't know, I injured it somehow. And of course, you know, you can't get much done when that happens. And just, you don't realize how much you need, you know, to do things until you can't do them, right? So just some light stenciling here. And I like to put just paper on the bottom. See how that rubs right off? Like little extra staining on my paper. All right, so we've got the stencil done on the front. And then all I did here is I just added a couple of stickers and everything that came in the kit. So I'll just quickly put that together, and then I'll show you the window one. So I'm going to be using the washi tape that also came in the kit. And I think that's just, maybe I'll do it in the center. Well, my friends, I don't know what it is, but lately I have not been able to focus very much on things. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, this project, I was able to put it together quickly because it didn't require a lot of thought, really. And, you know, a lot of the pieces that I'm using to decorate it were already in my stash. So I didn't have to fussy cut things out. I didn't have to think of a theme too much. As I said, the bunnies, as soon as I saw those bunnies, it's like squirrel. You know, I had to stop everything, print them out, and figure out what I could use them for. So, of course, this is just starting to use them. I wanted to make some tags. I will probably be maybe making something else with the kit to make maybe some journaling cards. Maybe I'll add them to another project that I'm working on that I wanted to show you a tutorial on very soon. But what I mean is, just most of the things, I'll start working on something, and let's say I'll finish a page somewhere, or I'll just finish a piece, and then I just move on to something else, and I can't seem to stay focused on that one item. And I found that so much lately, like it's happening a lot more. And then, of course, as I've mentioned before, the best ideas come at like 3 in the morning when I'm trying to go to sleep. And then all of a sudden, you know, I want to make something and I want to try it, and I just can't sleep because of the thought of just wanting to get that done. So, of course, it always happens that if I'm not feeling well, or if I'm injured, or if I have a flare up, that's when all the ideas start flowing, and I just want to get so much done, but I can't. And so I'll write my little notes down in my journal, and I'll, kind of try to remember what I was thinking I wanted to do. But it just always seems to be so difficult to, to get things done at the moment and focus. Anyways, getting back to this little cutie, I think that's all the decorating I'll do on this one. But I did want to show you the window one, just in case you do have those window envelopes. And I guess when you do get more in, maybe the way that you open them up might be a little bit different now. Instead of opening them up the long way, you might want to open them up the short way. And this way you'll have, the closure already done. You won't have to close your envelopes, and then you can just cut your pockets as is. So for this one, I'm just going to use the one that I lightly coffee stained and stenciled on. I realized as I'm doing it and as I'm closing it up that I'll be covering a lot of that lovely stenciling, which I kind of really enjoyed. However, it still looks nice. Going forward, if I do use those white envelopes that are coffee stained, it will probably be easier because then I don't have to worry so much about covering anything up. But I still think this is really, really adorable, and it turned out so cute. I like the fact also that I already had the envelopes ready to go. I didn't have to do too much to them. That's another thing that usually stops me from creating, is if I have to start from scratch and, kind of putting things together. So I did enjoy, as I said, coffee staining a bunch of envelopes recently. It really was the only thing I could do for a little bit because, again, the issue I was having with my shoulder, it's still slowly recovering. But yeah, I found it so difficult to do a lot of things when I could barely move my arm at the start. It was so scary too, because it's not like I did anything, extremely difficult. It was just, I guess, picking something up, moving a certain way and twisting my arm in a certain way. And that was all it took to... My sister said, my youngest sister, she's a personal trainer. She said it sounded like my rotator cuff. And so I thought, yeah, that makes sense, because that's the area that she pointed at. So anyways, after having gone to some treatment, it started to feel a little bit better. But it just, oh my goodness, it was just such a difficult thing to, have everything just stop me from doing anything. And I have mentioned before, I do suffer from chronic pain. So I don't have many days where I don't have a lot of pain. Usually I kind of am able to get through it, you know, just as a day goes by. I'm so used to it. But when there's extra pain, it just makes things a little bit more difficult. And I know that many of you also suffer with chronic pain and a lot of, you know, kind of chronic symptoms of many things. And I totally feel you. And I totally understand you and what your struggles are going through, at least part of it for sure. Okay, so you saw me fold up my little window one. I think now we'll just decorate it. I did want to pull out the little bunnies again. I mean, look at these bunnies, you guys. I am obsessed right now. The journal kit itself, I'm really trying to figure out, should I add a lot of those pages maybe to my folio that I'm working on? Because I do have about 3 or 4 folios that I've started to put together. So I'm thinking I might do like a little spring one. And another thing with the bunnies, I know that many people use them for like Easter kind of, but I think they're beautiful in like making albums, like kids albums or kids scrapbooks. But I think it's just so cute to add all of them in those types of journals. So I might even, you know, go that route and make like a little, I don't know, like a new baby kind of kit. We'll see. I'm just playing around with the bunnies. I'm loving them right now, as I said, and I really want to do a lot more with them, especially right now that, you know, spring is around the corner. The weather is, well, all over the place, as I'm sure many of you know, but it's still nice to have those really nice sunny and warmer days already. I'm done with snow, even though this year we did not have a lot of it. A scary thing, though, I heard in the news is that the wildfires are starting earlier this year, and I am so scared for everyone that has to experience that. I know we went through a really tough time last year where it was difficult to even go outside because the air was just so polluted with that smoke, right? That it wasn't enjoyable. So right now, when the weather is a little bit nicer, I mean, we're just really trying to get out and get some of that fresh air. All right, so you see that I'm adding this little piece to the envelope. I wanted it to go over on the window a little bit so I can still see it when I pull out the bunny. I thought that was just so cute. So this is yet another, you know, piece of embellishing that I love. That it adds a little touch to the project and I don't have to fussy cut things out. I have such a difficult time fussy cutting, just, you know, pain wise, and I don't know, I just can't do it. So I really enjoy having things ready that I can just grab and put together on a project, and then it just looks a little bit nicer with those little extra things. So these little flowers are, I think I got on at Temu a while back. I absolutely love them because I take them apart and then I use them individually. They're like silk flowers. I think I saw Jeanette from my cottage, my crafts. Oh my gosh, I forgot her channel name. I apologize. But I did see a long time ago that she had hauled these and I had to have them. So loving these flowers for sure. And then these little plastic thingies, I think I got them at a dollar store a long time ago. I have so many of them. They came in a large roll. And of course, you know, florals is the best time to use them for, I think. So I'm putting that together. So you can see just decorating however you want. I thought I would just add some more flowers to this little one. I really am loving these pockets, I have to tell you. They're so fun to make, and I just love reusing these envelopes. So I'm going to punch out my little butterflies again, and this is the little punch that I mentioned. I don't think that it's around anymore. I will try to link it in my Amazon favorite items link below. If I happen to find one, I will try and link it there for you. But it is one of my favorite little punches. I'm starting to realize the more I use my paper punches, the more I really enjoy, you know, putting things together. I don't know if I like using my metal dies as much. I think because you kind of have to run them through the machine to get that same image. But here with the paper punch, I can just get my little butterflies quickly and positioned how I need them, right? So I've got my larger butterfly up, and I wanted them to be vellum just so that there was another sort of layer to this, you know, to make it look cute. I did add the tiny little paper clip to hold it down. And again, this one would be a nice little pocket to add in a journal, or you could just add ephemera to it and send it off in the mail to someone, and that would be so adorable to get a little bundle of ephemera with these little pockets. Okay, so I'm adding this other tiny little butterfly, and I'm having a hard time using this new kind of like grabby thingy. You are supposed to squeeze it to open it and let it go to close it, and my brain just can't get around that right now, so it made me lose my third butterfly. My butterfly flew away because of this thing. However, it's finished. I love how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed crafting with me. This video was a little longer than usual, but I did want to show you both envelopes in case you were trying to figure out how to use the window ones. So I hope you enjoyed this project, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are interested in some coffee stained envelopes, let me know and I'll try and make a batch for you. And yeah, if you make some, don't forget to tag me. I am on Instagram, on Facebook, on Pinterest, of course, YouTube. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this project. I'll be back very soon with more tutorials and craft with me videos. Thanks so much for stopping by.